Good morning, everyone. Sorry, trying to get set up here, and I got a walleye coming in that I'm working already. Looks like a pretty decent one here. It's fairly aggressive, which I'm surprised. There. Oh, then I lost him. I've lost him twice. You got to be kidding me. Not hitting it that hard. But anyway, welcome back to another video here. And today we're going to kind of go over how to fish walleyes during fronts. Now, this year, as I'm sure it has been across the ice belt everywhere, we've ran into way warmer weather than what we normally are this time of year. So it's been real sketchy to get on lakes, real sketchy. You know, we've had to be twice as careful this year to get on ice and do some safe fishing here. But you know, the lake I'm on now, we got a solid 10 inches. I'm driving my four-wheeler on it, but we've had a front for about the last 3 days here. It's been real gloomy weather. The temps haven't went up and down. They've kind of stayed the same. Now, going into this coming week here, it's supposed to get really cold, really below zero. So today I'm going to kind of go over how I go about fishing walleyes during fronts, and maybe I can help you out with a few pointers here on what I like to do. But I just finishing getting set up here. I got one more GoPro to get set up. I'm having issues, of course. I got a GoPro that won't turn on. My wireless mic isn't working this morning for some reason for the big camera, so I'm hoping you can hear me just fine and the audio's clear. But I'm gonna finish getting set up here and get after it, and then I will show you kind of when I'm using it, how I use it, and how I go about everything. So stay tuned. There, we got a little bit smaller one creeping in on the bottom here. Looks like it's going towards my dead stick. Let's see what he's gonna do here. All over it. And another one coming in from the other way. And I was really nervous. Oh, I got one coming right up at my... That one, well, shoot, that one. I might be able to get this one to go. Here he comes. Come on. I couldn't get him to go. I'm surprised with it being... barometer being the way it is, going up and down. I even got this fish come up this high, but man, he's just coming up and might hit it now. Might have to change up just a bit. Came up real nice and slow like he was going to hit it, and now we're just kind of hovering below it, going back and forth. Oh, I thought he was going to hit it. Oh, man alive, I got this fish almost about 6-7 feet off bottom. Here comes two of them. Here comes another one. Oh, this one came up and just rocketed. Ain't the fish I wanted, and then he came off. Ain't the fish that I wanted to hit. The other one was a little bit bigger, but I don't... They shouldn't be this active today, and that was kind of the whole point of making a front video, for the fact that, you know, normally when everyone goes out fishing walleyes during the front, they, you know, lethargic and not really getting anything going, and real hesitant. But you know, the two hits that I've had this morning, they fired right in. I got another one coming up already. This might be the one that was up after it before. This looks like a little bit better fish. But as I was saying, you know, this one followed it all the way up first, and it was a decent mark. But you know, with this kind of front, I'm using a very aggressive bait, and normally you can't even get him to look at it. And that other little one that did finally come up and hit it, he was smaller, but I mean, he rocketed off the bottom and just absolutely devoured it. Now, I still might have to change up here some. I got a slap wrap on my jigging rod here. And what I like to do is, regardless of the day and what the conditions are, I love to start out with the locator bait. Now I got like 3 fish down there right now. There we go. There's one. Just like that. Had to pound that one off bottom, but I had 3 of them down there. A little bit better fish. There we go. I got one going to my dead stick here. It's a nice eater, as we like to call them, at 14 to 15 inch range. Nice eater. It's going to go home with me for lunch. Now, as I was saying before that fish rudely interrupted me, I'll start off with this locator bait, and to locate them, to get them to come in and see what they're, see how active they are and what they're, settle down. See how active they are and see what their attitude is for the day, and then I'll adjust as the day goes on. But during these fronts is definitely the time that I do use a dead stick. Oh, here we come. And I use a dead stick a little bit different when we got a front like this. Got another one coming in already. They're just not popping like I'd like, but it's definitely a good sign when we got fish coming in, at least looking. I got another fish coming in. I might just have to change up from the slap wrap maybe to maybe a buckshot or maybe a slender spoon. Uh-oh, he's aggressive. He's coming up after it. I might have to change up, but sorry, I keep getting interrupted by fish here, but I got another one coming in here. They're not as active as I'd like to see, but here comes this one firing up. I'll keep using this one just for a little bit, but like I said, this is the time that I really like using a dead stick the way that I'm using it. Normally I'll always use a dead stick, but usually I'll have some kind of jig on it, or my favorite one is the buckshot, and taking the bottom hook off the buckshot and putting about a 3-inch dropper on it. Ooh, boy, I got fish all over down there now. Oh, I thought I was going to hit it. There we go. Now he hit it. Sorry about that. I'm getting rudely interrupted here. A little bit smaller one, of course, but anyway, as the morning goes on, I'll keep kind of changing things up depending upon the fish's behavior. But with what they're doing this morning, they are, I'm getting some of them to come fire in and hit, and some of them to kind of lag a little bit, but I'm gonna kind of keep at it here, and maybe I'll change up here in a bit. But as I was saying, when I start out every morning, when I start out, regardless if there's going to be front moving in or if it's a perfect day to be out, I'll always start out with a nice, I'll zoom in on that or focus, but locator bait similar to that. This is a slap wrap. I just started using this year, and I tell you what, I'm very impressed with it. Caught a ton of fish off and went with it already. We normally fish a lot of spoons or jigging wraps, but this slap wrap has been absolutely fantastic. Don't have to put bait on. Just got to practice with it a while and get it to, figure out how to use it just right. And of course, every fish is different when they come in, but it's been a great bait so far. But my dead stick, like I said before, normally I will run, a buckshot with a 3-inch dropper on it. And like today, with the front moving in, thinking in the back of your mind that fish are going to be a little more lethargic, they're going to be a little more inactive, I'll go to just, I'll reel it up here and show you. I'll go just to a plain hook and a weight, and a, just a small snap weight there, and just a hook, and then I like running 3-prong hooks, the number 10 3-prong hooks, the equal claws. But what I'll do is I'll run that all the way to the bottom, where normally when I know they're going to be a little bit active, or I see they're active, I'll raise it up about 18 inches to 2 feet off bottom even. With this here, I'll let it fall all the way to the bottom, and I'll let that minnow actually just sit right on bottom, because a lot of times when these fish are inactive, they'll come in right on the bottom, and they usually will stop. In my experience, anyway, they'll stop. They won't really chase. They won't really do much, but they'll stop kind of underneath their baits. Now, if I can get that minnow in front of that fish and keep it in front of his face for a good period of time, instead of having him come up after it, because, like I said, they're not active. If I can keep that right in their face, that's just like us eating a big meal and then sitting on the couch and sitting there rubbing our bellies that we don't want to eat, and not feeling well because you overate. But then your wife comes up and puts a little cookie in front of your face, and you're going to look at it for a while and say you don't want it, but eventually you're going to grab and eat it. And that's kind of the same concept with this here. So, but as the morning goes on, their behaviors will change too. But so far they've been fairly active. I've only had one I got in the bucket here he's an eater, but he's not big. So, I got another one coming in. This one's firing up. If I can't get bigger ones to go on, there we go, on the slap wrap, another one coming in already. I will probably go to, maybe a frosty spoon or a buckshot or whatever, and probably end up going to a full minnow and seeing how they react to that. But so far this morning, I'm going to stick with what I got going on here. But just another little guy, but it's a start. Another one firing in here. I like the way that looks of them here this morning, the way they're firing in. Like this one looks like a little bit better fish again, and he just came about a foot off bottom, and he kind of looked at it and kind of glided back down. If I get him to come back up here, I might have to switch out right away. These bigger ones aren't liking this a little more aggressive bait here, so I said I might have to switch up fairly quick here this morning to get some of the bigger ones to go. Little ones, it looks like they're hitting about whatever you put down at them, which is good to see. But as you can see now, this one here is just sunk to the bottom, sitting right underneath of my slap wrap here, but he's facing my dead stick, and he's kind of creeping forward. Now he's, like I said, he's going to be perfectly eye to eye with that minnow, and especially it's a smaller minnow, and he might actually hit it here. I think he grab it. Oh, boy, he's bumping it with his nose though. I dropped the slap wrap off bottom and bang it a couple times here. Maybe lift that minnow up for him. Oh, I fired him up, and man, he didn't like that. That was my fault. I should have had him. I thumped this slap wrap off bottom and got him to turn away from my dead stick, and he came right in and just lifted it up off bottom real slow, and he hit it, and I missed him. But that's on me. He did what he was supposed to. Number one thing I can always say if the fish are active or inactive is drop your bait off bottom. And when you do, drop it off bottom, and as soon as you're on bottom, just bring that bait up and just knock it down, up and down on the bottom. Get some of that silt coming up off the bottom. Get some vibration going down there. A lot of times that will trigger a bite. That will trigger a bite more times than almost any other method that I could do anyway. But I've caught many fish by banging that off bottom, just like you seen with that last fish that I missed. When he came up and he looked at it and didn't like it, and he glided back down on the bottom, and he turned, went over towards my dead stick, and he knows that forever. I dropped this bait in the mud and I just pounded off bottom about 3-4 times and left it there, and he turned, came right over to it, and as soon as I started lifting it up slow, he drilled it by the time it got 4 or 5 inches off bottom. And the reason I missed him was because of me, not because of him. Now I got another one coming in here that is all over my dead stick, but now he's coming to my slap wrap here. He's coming up, he's going to hit. Oh, got right up to it, and he turned once again. I got him 5 feet off bottom, and he turned and went right away from it again. Now he's coming back up. See if I can get him fired up to hit. As soon as he gets to it, he swipes, and then he swims away. I don't know if he's going to turn, take another shot at it here. This isn't a huge fish, but I'd imagine in that 14 to 16 inch range. Here comes another one that's underneath my dead stick. I got 2 fish in here right now. Now that one turned. He's going to come up. I'm giving him every rep here that I can think of to get him to go. Ooh, dropping it towards the bottom. That really fired that fish up. There. That was neat. That was neat. That fish wanted it on the fall. That was neat. Not a big one again, but I got one that hit my dead stick. Nothing big, but that was fun. That was neat. A neat fish. Yep, now he's got my dead stick. There we go. Got 2 here going. Gonna put this rod down. Come on. This one seems a little, oh, then you gotta be kidding me. That was the way it was supposed to work right there, but I lost that one. Oh, it's a bit better fish too. Oh, God. That's the way it goes, but, you know, like I said, here's my dead stick. It's just a little split shot weight and a 3-prong hook, a red number 10. That's all I'm using, putting a smaller minnow on and putting that minnow right at the bottom. So that minnow is just a couple inches off bottom, and, you know, I usually go to just maybe a little bit smaller minnow, and just like your jigging baits or your aggressive baits, you know, as weird as this may sound, I'll change up the size of minnows as the day goes on too, to see what kind of size of minnow they want compared to what you got them. If they want a bigger minnow or smaller minnow. And that last one was a little bit smaller minnow, so I'm going to use this little bit bigger one. And the way they're firing this morning, I'm thinking this little bit bigger minnow might be a little bit better ticket for him here. But damn, I've lost about 4 or 5 fish here this morning already. You know, also, you know, where to locate fish during fronts. You know, a lot of people tell you here, tell you there, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying that I'm always right either, but, you know, everything that I try to pass along, what I'm doing, it usually always works for me. Not always, but, you know, I'm fishing a spot that we actually fished yesterday, and it was dead. It was slow. So I figured it was a perfect time to come out and probably do a fishing walleyes during the front video. And it's a new day today, and a lot more fish have come through. They're firing a lot better than what they were yesterday. You know, and that could change in the blink of an eye, and I could not catch any for the rest of the day. But during these fronts, of course, there's a little bit of wind outside today. It's not bad. A little bit cold. I think it's in the middle teens, I think. And it's not supposed to get a lot warmer throughout the day, and that was just like yesterday. It was, I believe, 20 degrees when we got set up, and it was 21 degrees when we left about 2 o'clock. So we're not warming up at all during the day. And like I said, this next cold front is going to be moving through here next week, or this coming week. And we're going to get below zero weather finally for, you know, 4, 5, 6 days. I can't remember what it was, but, you know, it just proves that anything can happen with these fish. I got one just firing up here. Walleyes firing up. I can't even have a conversation with the camera without a fish firing up. I can't get him to go though. I got this fish 6 feet off bottom. I got a nicer one coming in the bottom too here. But anyway, I won't move around a whole lot during a front like this. When I got fish underneath me that's coming through, I'm going to stick right here, because normally when you got a front and these fish are a little lethargic and not very active, normally they're not that active all over the lake. And plus, I'm not going to sit out in the wind and the cold, that's for sure. But you can get a day like today where you got some fish coming in. I mean, actually, I'm getting kind of spoiled here today. I'm having quite a few fish coming in, but every one of them is acting a little bit different here too. So I just like sitting right here and learning what I can learn, and I get a kick out of fooling them. If they won't go on one thing, I'll try another. If I can't get them to hit on certain stuff and I start jigging in a certain way and I start getting them to go on that, I get a real kick out of that. And I don't need to catch 100 fish in a day to be happy. You know, I don't even need to take home a limit of fish either. I can throw back every fish that I catch and not care. You know, I kind of get, not that it's wrong or right, but I get a kick out of when you ask guys how they did. Well, we limited out. Well, you know, what does that mean? You know, because in the state that I live in, we can keep 5 walleyes. Well, did you fish all day and catch 5 walleyes? You know, so is that considered a good day? You know, it depends, I guess. Depends on who you are. To me, having a good day is just getting out here and catching fish, regardless of the size. You know, granted, nobody likes to catch those little guys, but I just love catching fish. Just love catching fish. It doesn't matter what size they are. I just love catching fish. There, I got one firing in here. Looks like a better fish. Oh yeah, good fish. This is a better fish here. Switched up here to a VMC spoon here. This is a good fish. Just seen its tail here. Oh yeah, good walleye. Good walleye. Oh boy, yes sir. Yes sir. This is what we're looking for right here. Can't get its head up through. Yes sir, come on big girl. Come on big girl. Yes sir, there we go. Absolutely devoured that spoon. Yes sir. Here we go. What a toad. What an absolute toad. Oh, finally, what a toad. I gotta get this big girl off here without hurting her. She absolutely devoured the spoon. My goodness. There we go, girl. Perfect. What a toad. What a fish there. What a fish. I mean, it's probably a 22, 23 inch fish, but dang, they are pretty. They are pretty. She's bleeding a little bit. I'm going to get her back in the water. Hold still, hold still. Hold still, big girl. Hold still. There she goes. She's gone. Not the release I was looking for. I was hoping to get it on camera a little better, but good fish. Well, when you get a fish like that, I guess, my opinion, and just my opinion, I can go home a happy guy today. That was a nice fish. Nothing better than seeing a big tail, white tail down at the bottom of the hole. Beautiful walleye. Nice colors. Active. Beautiful walleye. And what I did is I switched to I believe it's a VMC tumbler spoon if I'm not mistaken. That's VMC tumbler spoon. White on the back, pink and white and tiger stripes on the front, with a minnow head. And reason being is I was using that slap wrap and they were coming into it, but they come up and they look and they go back down. So change to something smaller, you know, maybe something, no rattles, no nothing, tipped it with a minnow head, of course, and just kind of flick your wrist a little bit with it and just get it to come up and then float on its side and kind of tumble back a little bit. And when that fish came in, I just raised it and just slightly jiggled it so that, you know, the bait just kind of went like this, and that minnow head was kind of flopping back and forth. And when she hit it, it was back in the back of her throat and the gills, but I reached down with the forceps there and I got a hold of the hook and just gave it a little click and it came off. So she's not injured. Yeah, she was bleeding a little bit. She's going to be just fine. I have no doubt that fish is going to be just fine. Nice and healthy, swam off nice. That's all you can ask for. Fun. No more and got that bigger one back down, and here comes another one firing in. Ooh, this is a bigger fish too. Oh, and I missed it. No way. No way. Oh, coming back. This fish is fired up. This fish is so fired up. I don't know if I got my minnow head. This fish is just fired up, but I don't know what's going on here. Is it a northern, or did I lose my minnow head? There we go. Maybe not quite as big as I thought, but man, this fish was just fired up. Nice walleye though. Real nice walleye. Oh, wow, jeez, come here. Man, this one is upset. Man, the spoon has just got them all kinds of fired up here this morning. This is a little bit bigger one, but still not a bad fish. You know, probably that 16, 17 inch fish there, but another one on that spoon, it just fired in and absolutely just drilled it. Well, I should say it missed it the first time, but I just kept working it, and I knew it was fired up because it just kept circling below the bait, and as soon as I got line back up, it came just roaring back up and absolutely drilled it. So much fun. So much fun for being on a front. Man, you know, like I said earlier, for being in a kind of a front like we are, they're sure active. So kind of the moral of the story is, no matter what the weather's doing, just get out and go. Just go. Like I said, all I'm doing is, you can see I got that minnow hooked right through the bottom of the mouth, up to the top of the head. Nose taken, pinch it off just a little bit below the gills, so the head is there, and then grab it behind the gills and give it just a hair of a squeeze, because they have an air bladder there. You pop that air bladder, and what they'll do is then that minnow head will sit just like this underneath your bait rather than floating off to the side. Make a huge difference in how that bait's supposed to work. Jesus, this guy just fired right in without. I was looking at something in my cameras here, and this little guy just fired right on in. Drilled it. Not the size we're looking for again, but they're so much fun when they're this active. God, they are just a blast. Just a blast. They're absolutely inhaling this spoon. Just a little guy, but still a lot of fun. You know, as the morning's been going on, when I first got here, like I said, I was using that slap wrap, and they seem to be coming in and hitting it. Not every one of them, but they seem to be coming and hitting it fairly aggressive. Then after a while, they just come up and look and chase them, but they wouldn't hit it the way I wanted to. So I switched to this VMC tumbler spoon, and what a night and day difference. It's been, every fish that's came in has absolutely just come in with a full head of steam and absolutely slammed it. You know, and that kind of proves what I was saying this morning. You know, when switch throughout the morning, you never know, even though there's a front, even though there's a lot going on with the weather, with the water pressure, all that good stuff. You know, there's so much that them walleyes can tell you. I mean, you can pay attention to the barometer, you can pay attention to the weather, you can pay attention to all that. But I got an east wind today. It's blowing fairly, it's not heavy, but it's blowing. And like I said, that front's moving in, the cold front's moving in. We've been in kind of a front the last few days. It's been gloomy, snow flurries here and there. The temps haven't been going up and down, they just kind of sustained. So, you know, they're active. You just, the main thing I can tell anybody is, you know, let the fish tell you what they want. If you got fish coming in there chasing, switch it up. Switch it up to something else. Like my belief is it doesn't always have to be color. And the color is really the last thing I'll ever change. It's always the size of the bait, the kind of bait, the way the bait is used. And then once I get going, you know, I'll adjust the colors accordingly, depending on how active they are and all that good stuff. But, you know, if you watch any of my videos, you'll probably see a common combination of mine that I have confidence in. And in the wintertime, I use, well, I got another fish just chasing in, just gonna interrupt me here. Oh, and I lost that one. You got to be kidding me. That was a decent fish too. And my minnow head's there, but anyway, I love pink in the wintertime. Pink has been my all-time favorite in the wintertime all the time. So yeah, I just watch him eat my minnow head. So yeah, but anyway, pink is my all-time favorite color in the wintertime, and I used to get a lot of crap for it until, you know, people started seeing that it was working. You know, the people that I go fishing with and see that it was working, then they started using it, and they're a firm believer in pink also. So, oh, there he hit my dead stick. This feels like a little bit better fish here too. Well, not a huge one. This fish was just aggressive. He hit about anything here. There we go. Not a huge fish, but you know, one of those good eaters. If you're going to eat fish, right there's the size to eat. That 14 incher, 15 incher. Them are the ones to eat. But anyway, as I was saying, now that everybody not everybody, but the people that I fish with a lot are done giving me crap about it, and they're using a lot of pink too, and I don't know what it is about pink that I like in the wintertime, but all I can say is it works, and I got confidence in it. And that's kind of with any bait you use. It doesn't matter what color, shape, size it is. If you got confidence in it, put it down. I'd like to take just a quick minute on showing you what I really like to use for my dead stick, especially, you know, kind of fishing the way I'm fishing with just the bare 3-prong hook and a minnow, is this 27-inch tickle stick by 13. It's got this flat tip on it that really makes it real sensitive. So that minnow's actually down there swimming around. You can see that rod tip. You know, that's how sensitive it is. You can see that rod tip moving around really nice. And then, of course, when they grab a hold of it, you know, they can bend that rod tip over, and the bite indicator is pretty plain as day, whether it's a light bite or a heavy bite. And of course, it's got a real heavy backbone on it to really get a good hook set. And I really enjoy this rod. I know this rod is normally meant for, you know, pan fishing or perch fishing or whatever, but I normally use it for my dead stick all the time. I will use it once in a while when the bite is real light and I'm using a real finessey small spoon or whatever I may be using for walleyes. Then I will actually go to this also. And, you know, when it's just that real, when you're trying to get real finessey, I mean, this rod is the ultimate. I absolutely love this rod. I don't use it a lot when I'm fishing aggressively like I am now. I don't like the rod tip. It doesn't seem to give aggressive baits the right movement when they're a little bit bigger bait. But as far as this dead stick goes for it, I mean, it is absolutely perfect. And then I won't go with a bobber, of course. Normally I'll go with a bobber if I'm using just a plain jig, but this, the way I'm fishing now, is the rod tip. Just watching that rod tip is even better than watching a bobber, if you ask me. Plus, you don't gotta look down all day and have a sore neck by the end of the day. But this 27-inch tickle stick is the ultimate, kind of the all-around rod for, you know, perch, panfish, dead sticking, fish and finesse walleyes. But it's, I really like it for the style I'm fishing today, to be able to, you know, let that bait move around as much on the bottom like it is, or as close to the bottom as it is, I should say. And then, you know, that rod tip is so sensitive on there that you can really see even that minnow moving around. That rod tip will bounce around. And then, of course, when there's a bite, you know, that last 8 inches of that rod, 10 inches of that rod, whatever it is really flimsy and really finessey. And it's got a huge backbone to it to really get a good hook set also. My jigging stick is still the 27-inch, I believe it's 27 or 28-inch medium action, spooled up with Power Pro braid. I think it's 8-pound braid. And of course, I got the foot of fluorocarbon on the bottom of it for the visibility purposes. And then actually on my dead stick, I should say, I think it's probably the only rod that I actually have mono on. I got 6-pound monofilament on that one, and I like it, but yet I don't. I guess it's one of those deals. But I love braid. Since braid came out, especially Power Pro braid, I use that on my summer rods and also my winter rods. But like I said, this is the only one that I have mono on, and there really is no reasoning for it. That's kind of just what I got on it. But I will run mono on that one, and that's really about, like I said, all the rods I'll run mono on. But it works really good for this setup, that's for sure. Well, it's been a really good day today. I've caught a pile of walleyes, every size, anywhere from 10-inch walleyes to 20-some inch walleyes. In the last hour, all I've had is small group of perch come through, and looks like I got a bigger northern looking around down there, and the wind's starting to pick up. I might get home, kind of get packed up here, get home, go start the four-wheeler, let it warm up some. But like I said, you know, don't be scared to go out on days like today when there's a front. Get out there and go. I mean, that old saying, you can't get it from the couch, that can't be any more true. And they were firing today. They were absolutely firing. When they come in, once I found out what bait they wanted, they come in and they absolutely just fire in and just absolutely smoke it. So, you know, not always on fronts is it bad. I've had some of my best days ever during fronts, but yeah, you can get your days that they're just, you know, either not moving a whole lot or they're not very active, but you'll never know unless you get out there. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. I know my camera views ain't the greatest. I'm still trying to figure out in this shack in particular how to get my camera views a little bit better. I do have a big otter, the Pro Lodge I believe it is, that I didn't fish out of today just for the fact I'm by myself, but no, the camera views ain't the greatest so far, so please comment below and let me know what you think, or what you think I could do a little bit better that you guys would like. Every time I put a GoPro up front, which is normally, you know, it gives kind of a wider range of view, it overheats from the heater and it doesn't last very long, so I use the big camera up front and it doesn't have a wide of angle of view. But so that's why I got the one on my chest here and the one on the Garmin and the big camera here. But please comment below and let me know what you think I could do better, what you think I'm doing right or wrong. I'd love to hear from everybody. I think criticism is the best way to learn, so comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.